Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. Kia ora. Hey, Mr. Chair, so what we're seeing is this Crown Minerals Amendment Act amendment bill being sneaked through under urgency, this egregious Clause 14 sneaked through under urgency to amend the Anadarko Amendment, also snuck through without any Bill of Rights or Select Committee scrutiny through a supplementary order paper and amendment. Mr. Speaker, this is terrible lawmaking. I believe it's lawmaking at its worst. That's what the Law Society or the Law Talk magazine is talking about. But what we're doing right now with Clause 14 is possibly something we don't even have the legal ability to do. We don't have the jurisdiction to enforce criminal provisions against protesters to protect one specific industry on the high sea. Now, of course, I'm sure members know, and I'm sure the Minister knows because he's the lawyer in the House, the Minister would know the high sea is considered an inch above the seabed on the extended continental shelf past our exclusive economic zone. Now, this extends out to 350 nautical miles. The reason is the country's given the rights with the royalties paid to the International Seabed Authority to exploit the minerals on the seabed. But the water column and the sea isn't considered part of New Zealand's jurisdiction. We've heard numerous quotes from the MFAT website, from the Ministry for the Environment websites, where it is clear we don't have jurisdiction to control shipping. But this is exactly what this government is trying to do, sneak through under budget urgency on 1:45 Mr. Chair. I think it's an outrage, and I think the question for the Minister is, was he even aware he was doing this? Because it's not in the explanatory statement, it's in the explanatory statement of the bill. Did he even know he was taking this huge step to extend international jurisdiction unilaterally over 1.7 million square kilometres? I believe this is going to have international ramifications. You're going to see the North Koreans try this example. You're going to see Japan try...
No, I'm not.
You're right, Mr. Chair.
No.
Countries are going to see countries like Japan and North Korea try this on. Mr. Chair, the world is going to see Japan try and enforce non-interference zones around their ships to try and do their whaling. North Korea is going to do it. I think this is going to be an internationally significant precedent, and I don't think the Minister is even aware he's doing it. Did he get a legal opinion from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade? Is the Foreign Minister even aware that Simon Bridges, the Minister, under urgency is sneaking through a massive jurisdictional grab to extend New Zealand's rights over it? It's likely going to be challenged, I believe, in the Tribunal of the Law of the Sea in Hamburg. It could be challenged in New Zealand's courts. And again, we're doing it all without select committee scrutiny. It's an absolute outrage. But why are we doing it? Now, what happened last week? Who's the first oil company wanting to apply for a permit over the continental shelf? Of course, it's the China National Offshore Oil Corporation. They last week with Shell announced they want to get a permit. Now, this is a company on their own website that described themselves as a mega state asset of the Chinese government. Mr. Chair, this company wants to get a permit from Mr. Bridges over the continental shelf. I want Mr. Bridges to tell this Parliament, did he get a call from either Shell or the Chinese National Offshore Oil Corporation, the state-owned oil driller of the Chinese Communist government? Did he get a call from them saying, hey, Mr. Bridges, I'm sorry, with your Anadarko Amendment, you only cover the territorial sea and the EEZ, your poor drafting didn't... Sorry, Mr. Chair. The drafting used didn't cover the continental shelf where we want to go prospect for oil with Shell. Mr. Bridges, you haven't answered a single question, but my question to you, the Minister, is were you aware and have your office been contacted? Mr. Chair, what we're seeing is a travesty of justice, a poor, egregious Clause 14 being rushed through under budget urgency. Mr. Chair, this ain't a good look for this government.
Jami-Lee Ross.
Question being now put.
The question is that the question be now put. Those of that opinion will say aye. For the contrary, no. The ayes have it. So, party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 opposed.
Green Party.
11 opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 opposed.
Māori Party.
2 in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 opposed.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 63, the noes are 52. The question will be put. We have two amendments. The first, in the name of Moana Mackie, is to delete clause 14. The question is that the amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it. Party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
32 in favour.
Green Party.
11 in favour.
New Zealand First.
7 in favour.
Māori Party.
2 opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Action New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 opposed.
Brendan Horan.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 52, the noes are 63. The amendment is not agreed to. The next amendment is to clause 14, section 55, amended, replacing the definition of offshore area. The question is that the amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it. Party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
32 in favour.
Green Party.
11 in favour.
New Zealand First.
7 in favour.
Māori Party.
2 opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United
1
Future.
opposed.
Brendan Horan.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 52, the noes are 63. The amendment is not agreed to. Members, the question now is at part 2, stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. So, party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 opposed.
Green Party.
11 opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 opposed.
Māori Party.
2 opposed.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 opposed.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 61, the noes are 54. Part 2 will stand part. We now move to the debate on the clauses. The question of the clauses 1 to 3 stand part. Moana Mackie.
Thank you, Mr Chair, and I'm very pleased to take a call on the title and commencement clauses of this bill. I'll come to title soon, but I think